going, gone. Let's go.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of the Almost Awesome podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Sam Nicholson, joined alongside by Taryn Owens
Yella.
and Andy Carr.
Hiya.
So, if you didn't know already, we're a weekly show that talks about basically any topic from kangaroo nipples, beer, video games, and comics and movies. That kangaroo nipples was a reference to the last episode, if you guys haven't listened to that.
Jesus.
Yeah, so we might as well get right into it. A movie came out in the last few weeks by one of the largest, part of one of the largest franchises going at the moment. You guys have probably heard of it, Ant-Man. I believe one of us has seen it. What were your thoughts, Andy?
Well, I went in thinking this is going to be probably pretty dreadful. I wasn't wowed by the trailers whatsoever. And I think I said in the past episode that I was on, I was sort of going, is this going to be the death knell for Marvel? But I have to say, I actually really enjoyed it. It didn't take itself too seriously, and I've just kind of gotten a bit fed up of just... I mean, I love superheroes, and like the last conversation we had was about Batman, and I love Batman, of course. But still, I want a bit more fun from some of these blockbusters, and that's exactly what it was. It was funny. The effects were pretty incredible, I thought. And because it was a superhero I didn't know that much about, it was actually just kind of refreshing just having a story being told rather than just kind of knowing everything that was going to happen all the way through. I mean, it wasn't an Oscar winner or anything like that. It never was going to be, but it was just a really fun movie, and I just thought, you know what, if more of the movies were kind of like this, I'd be totally down for that. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. So then what's sort of strange is sort of coming off the back of that is that Box Office Mojo and Variety are claiming that the movie, even though it generated $58 million in the US over its opening weekend, it's being considered a flop.
Wow.
Second to last opening weekend that Marvel has had. I think the only one that they've compared it to is the Incredible Hulk, the Edward Norton one, which I kind of enjoyed, I have to say. But you know, that's what they've been comparing it to, and sort of saying it's a failure. So I don't know. I don't know whether that's really that fair to call it that when 58 million has been generated. So yeah, I kind of find it really strange. On the one hand, it's the business side is doing what I expected it to do. You know, Ant-Man. Really, are you going to get that many people to go and see a movie called Ant-Man? But then on the other hand, the movie actually turned out pretty good. So I don't quite know what Marvel was really expecting it to do.
It sounds like the movies are going the same sort of way the games are. Like you have, if you remember Square Enix with, I think it was Tomb Raider?
Yeah.
Where it sold crazy, crazy amounts, and it was still called a flop. It seems like these companies are just spending way too much money on something that, even if it makes a really good quality, like 58 million is not something to laugh at. But they seem like they're making all this money, but they've invested so much into it that it's just not making their money back, even if it is good.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But they look at that 58 million and then look at what other movies in the franchise they have to compare that to. I mean, that's probably why they're saying it's a flop. You'd look at something like The Avengers, the original one, you know, one of the best openings of all time. That's probably why they're going to consider it a flop. But I was baffled why Marvel was going to put up an Ant-Man movie in the first place. I mean, it's a hero that no one has really heard of, and that has almost no appeal. Like, there's not too much special to him. They would have, like, the reason why I haven't watched it yet is because I have no interest. I'm a huge Marvel fan, and it looks like it was going to be appalling to me. But now that you've said this, Andy, and a few of my friends who've gone and seen it are saying it as well, that it's really good. It's a bit of a shock. Sort of like Guardians of the Galaxy was to most people, I think.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. I was saying to my now sort of ex-boss, because I'm now sort of waiting for my new job to start. We were saying, is this going to be like Guardians of the Galaxy of this year? Is it going to be the movie where people are kind of going to go, you know what, that movie that no one really expects to be any good is actually half decent? I wouldn't say it's as fun as Guardians of the Galaxy. I thought that was really excellent, really, really excellent. And I mean, I kind of had this theory about the Marvel movies, which is, at least of my favorite movies anyway, the Marvels. They're all the ones that needed something to prove. So I really like the first Iron Man, the first Avengers, and Guardians of the Galaxy. And I think all of them needed to prove something. They all needed to take some risk and do something. And I think Ant-Man's kind of in there. It needed to do something about it. Yeah, it's kind of a shame, really, that maybe some people are going to be put off by the lack of numbers. But yeah, I would heartily recommend it to anyone. If you're at least curious, go and watch it. It's really fun. Don't expect it to be like life-changing or anything like that, but it was just really good fun. I thoroughly enjoyed myself.
Yeah, that's right. I think Marvel would be one of the few studios who could probably pull out a movie, like a superhero movie, based on someone that no one's ever heard of or really going to take an interest in and make something good out of, I guess. You know, you trust Marvel for that. They seem to definitely know what they're doing, except for the case of Iron Man 3.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, that was true. That was true. But you know, it was interesting that, you know, Taron, you mentioned Tomb Raider. I felt exactly the same way as I do right now about Ant-Man as I did about Tomb Raider when they said, no, it's a failure. What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It makes no sense at all. Like, I mean, in comparison to the other movies they've made, where I think Avengers, as Sam was saying, I think they made crazy amounts first weekend. It was up in near the 200 millions, wasn't it?
Oh, if not more, yeah.
It got up to like third world, like best ever in history.
Yeah.
I think like the best release. Yeah.
I think it was only behind Avatar, which, well, nothing's ever going to beat Avatar.
And Titanic.
And Titanic, but
Yeah.
Titanic doesn't count. Go away, Titanic. You're at the bottom of the sea. No one cares about you.
Yeah, there was room on the door. Just leave it, you know.
Yeah, but yeah. Now that you've said it's actually really good, I might actually have to go and see this movie.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I mean, it's not the best movie that you'll ever see, but if you're looking for something just to go and watch, you know, on a Friday evening, which is when I saw it, just an evening out, yeah, it's definitely worth it. It's not a bad movie by any stretch of the imagination. So I enjoyed it way more than Ultron, certainly.
So you didn't like Avengers 2?
No, I really enjoyed the first one. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed that one, but I felt like Ultron, there was so many plot holes in it, and I'm not normally one to pick up on plot holes. You know, I really don't. But I felt like there was about 40 minutes missing from that movie, and interesting that the original cut that Joss Whedon apparently put together was over 3 hours long. And so I just felt like there were bits where suddenly the action had moved on. So how did Ultron get that body all of a sudden? And why is Thor in the pool? And why is, you know, and then there were just so many things like that where I thought, why is that happening? And okay, so we create Ultron. That was a mistake. Let's do the same thing again. We're heroes. There were just so many moments like that which I don't know, they just kind of grate with me. But did you guys enjoy Ultron?
I liked it, but I have the same opinion of it as you do, I think.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen it. I'm way behind in movies.
There's no huge rush to see it. But if you were to look at Marvel's lineup over the next, billion years that they've planned ahead, do you think there's going to be another movie like Ant-Man or Guardians that'll come out of left field and absolutely surprise everyone? Like something that no one has interest in, that everyone ends up loving or enjoying at least?
I mean, the only one that sticks to my mind, I can't remember all of them that they've got. I think they've got Inhumans coming out in about 5 years' time, which, again, is a really obscure franchise for them to pick up on. For the life of me, I can't remember who's in the Inhumans in the comics, but yeah, and because that's about 5 years' time, and it's sort of touching on what we mentioned before, the idea, can you be that interested still? So if Ant-Man is sort of already financially showing those signs of fatigue, are people going to be interested in this really obscure comic adaptation about 5 years' time? I don't know. I can't remember some of the other ones, to be honest.
There's a few really weird ones on here that people like myself who really aren't into comics comics like probably have never heard of. Things like Inhumans,
Yeah.
the Black Panther, Doctor Strange,
Mm.
Agent Carter. Well, I've heard of Agent Carter, but not really. It's
Mm.
not one of the major ones that a lot of people will know. Yeah, Iron Fist. I have no idea who any of these things are.
You see, I'm not sure who Iron Fist is, actually.
That's the first I've heard of this one, actually.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm just looking through them myself. Yeah, Inhumans, yeah. You start to wonder who they're targeting, really, don't you? You start to, who, and if they're going to be disappointed with 58 million with something like Ant-Man, how are they going to react when it gets to some of these more obscure ones? Like, as you say, if you've not read the comics, who's going to go see them?
Yeah, that's right. Marvel are possibly in over their head, thinking, these movies people are gonna be interested in superheroes for this long. But they probably know that in the end, there's gonna be those hardcore comic fans that go and watch the movies and beat the Marvel drum for a while. But surely they understand that they're not going to be as successful as they are now for the next however long it is they've planned ahead.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, it's so I mean, it's almost like a soap opera, though, isn't it? So you might just get those people, and that's the people who they start to rely on. Is just the people who wait to the end of the credits, which I'm one of them. I did to the end of Ant-Man. Just kind of going, well, if I don't see this movie, then I won't understand the next movie because they don't really stand alone. These movies, they're episodic, really. So I don't know. I suppose it depends on, for me, whether they stick to that and whether they make that worthwhile for people, or whether it becomes like Lost and you just kind of, okay, enough's enough. I've lost interest now, sort of halfway through the series.
Yeah.
No, interesting to see how it works out, I suppose, over the next few years.
No, that's right. But you mentioned that you stayed until the end of Ant-Man. Now, without spoiling anything, do they do anything to set up Civil War or any other future Marvel movies by any chance? Like in the post-credit scenes?
I'll just say yes.
That's all
I won't say anything else because, yeah, I mean, anything else would kind of spoil it. It's definitely a setup for Civil War. I wouldn't say it was as brilliant as it could be, but again, it's something there to certainly sort of whet your appetite for Civil War. So yeah, it's there. I got more excited by the one in the middle of the credits, to be honest. Okay, I won't even say remotely what that is, but it's something that the movie teases all the way through, and then it shows it to you. So I was more keen on that one, to be honest.
They put more than one. They put more than one in the movie now.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
They've got.
before.
Yeah,
as I said, I haven't seen many movies. Step back, Jesus. The last one I saw was the not Guardians of the Galaxy. I haven't even seen that yet. The first Avengers movie. That's like the last Marvel movie I watched.
Okay.
So
wow.
I'm miles behind. Yeah. Don't hate.
No, not at all. To be honest, you could watch Guardians completely by itself.
I plan to watch it. It's just come on Netflix here in Australia, so I plan to go and watch that.
Okay.
But
that movie is just brilliant.
I haven't heard a bad word about it, other than those people who troll. Someone's got to hate. Someone's got to hate on it.
Yeah, no, they do. I've still got the soundtrack to that in my car. It's a really great soundtrack. Probably one of the best soundtracks for a good few years of like compiled songs anyway. It's just a love letter to sort of late 70s, early 80s music. So yeah, it's really good fun. I really recommend it. Yeah, no, they had two stingers in the credits, Ant-Man, and yeah, there's always that expectant look around the audience of, okay, was that it, or do we now wait for the lights to properly come up, or yeah, so they're definitely really pushing it now for how long the people need to stay.
Yeah, it just seems like something Marvel is really good at. They're trying to get people to acknowledge everyone that makes the movies, but we don't really want to watch the credits. God damn Marvel.
I'm always patient enough to wait through the credits. But
Speaking of
another
waiting,
thing that will, yeah, another thing we've been waiting for, PlayStation Now down here around Australia. We haven't got it. I actually have no idea when we're gonna get it, but I hear you have it up there now, Andy. Jeez, you're all over everything at the moment. Ant-Man and PlayStation Now and everything. So,
Yeah.
what's your opinions on PlayStation Now? How's it been treating you?
I've I've actually been really impressed with it. It's really strange. There's been no fanfare about it over here, and I don't know whether it's just me or whether my account has just suddenly got it because I did put in for testing months ago. I signed up as a guinea pig, but it's suddenly there, and it's actually pretty impressive. I've rented. What is it? God of War 2 and Shadow of the Colossus through that, because I haven't played either of those. And I thought, I need to add them to the back catalogue. But yeah, no, it's actually running really well. I kind of forget that it's a streaming service. It's actually pretty impressive. It's a bit expensive though, probably. But 'cause it's like what was it, £5.99, so £5.99 to rent it for 30 days, which is fine. That's per game, by the way. But then, I can't access those games any other way. I don't have a PS2 anymore. I've never had a PS3, so if I'm going to play those games, it's going to be through something like that. And I just wondered what you guys thought, when it comes to Australia, whether you'd be up for renting through that, or whether you'd avoid it, or what you thought.
how much did you say it was? £5.99.
Yeah, so or I think it was £2.99 for 2 days, and then it suddenly jumps up to 30 days.
Ooh, nothing in the middle, really.
No, there really isn't. So you can't have it for a week or 2 weeks. It's just suddenly 2 days or 30 days.
That's really disappointing. But based on the prices, it seems a little too expensive. But when you compare it to, it's essentially the digital age version of Blockbuster.
Yeah.
It seems like it's just the price seems like it's a little high, but not so high that people won't use it. They're still going to make their money off it, so.
That's right. I mean, as someone who had a PS3 for, I don't know, probably 3 months before it broke and then never got another one, and that was early in its cycle, I'd love to get it just so I could actually play through all those games because of no backwards compatibility. But for the pricing, I mean, I'm not too sure about. I mean, because I work, 2 days isn't enough time for me to complete a game, whereas I don't want to pay for a whole 30 days either, and then there's a subscription fee on top of that, isn't there?
No, there's nothing else. So you just pay for the game that you want to rent. I have heard models that they talked about, I think, in the US version. I don't know whether this is true, but I had heard that they were doing a sort of Netflix subscription option if you wanted to. So you wouldn't then pay per game. You'd just, unlimited games access for however long you subscribed for.
Yeah, I'd much rather something like that. Or maybe even for PS Plus members, throw a few games in you can rent, for a week because you're a PlayStation Plus member for free. Something like that, so people can sort of wet their feet and then possibly consider, oh yeah, I might actually get this service, then there's more games I can rent later on. I don't know. Something like that would be awesome, I think. But yeah, but like I said, as someone who didn't really experience the PS3 too much, I'd love it. I'd love to get through all the Uncharted games before the collection comes out. Or, I don't know, God of War or Ratchet and Clank or something like that. But also here, not every PS3 game is in the service. There's only a limited amount of games, so it also depends on what the lineup is down here, whether I were to get it or not.
Yeah, and it's definitely a scaled down version of the full experience because the ads in the US have always been 100 plus games and things like that, but I think there's about 53 of them, something like that at the moment. Now, it's only been available for me for about a week at the most, so whether they're just sort of gradually rolling them out or something like that. But yeah, I mean, I had a 360, I didn't have a PS3 at all, so being able to play, like you say, the Uncharted games or the God of War games, and they've got Heavy Rain on there, which I've never played, and I really want to play that. I've always avoided spoilers of Heavy Rain. So I'm really sort of keen to try some of those things out. But yeah, the reason why I've got 2 games on rent is I rented out Shadow of the Colossus, and I tried it, and actually, this is not what I'm in the mood for right now. I can tell this is going to be awesome, but I kind of just want to smash some shit. So I rented God of War. So I've been playing that more. But yeah, if I'd had that kind of Netflix style rental service, I'd have tried out a few more things. And I think I probably would have preferred that. So yeah, I think that would be something that I would be far more interested in trying out. But yeah, I mean, what if the backwards compatibility though worked a bit like what Xbox are doing? You know, would you prefer that?
Yeah, that was actually going to be my next point. I'd much prefer backwards compatibility work like it does on the Xbox, but because Sony has this PlayStation Now system, I don't think they'll ever actually try to make that a thing, because then no one's going to use PlayStation Now, and then that's money lost. So I don't think we'll ever actually see backwards compatibility for the PS4, while PlayStation Now is a thing at least. But Taryn, as a PC gamer, would you like to see something similar for PC, like if Steam had a rental system?
Well, we kind of have something like that. We call it the Pirate Bay.
Yes, well,
But
something that's maybe
in terms of legal ones, then yeah, it'd be useful. I mean, backwards compatibility isn't so much of an issue considering we don't have problems. We can run games from 40 years ago. PC Master Race.
Mhm.
Had to get that in there. I'm sorry. But definitely a rental service or something that brings back demos. Demos were really good. It gave you sort of a perfect cut of this is what the game's about. Do I want to play it? Do I not want to play it? Okay, sweet. Yes, I'll buy it. No, I won't buy it. But definitely a service where you could rent a game for a week or even just a night. Sometimes you might have friends over, and do any of you have a Wii U?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, say you had a Wii U and you had friends coming over for the night. You could just rent Super Smash Brothers Brawl for the night for $3. Get a full night of gaming out of it and don't have to pay $60 for something you're probably not going to play again for years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's something
Yeah,
I'd love to see on. I'd love to see it on everything, but yeah, I don't think it's coming anytime soon.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Especially with your point of playing a game for just a night. Like, all of my friends and I would love to play Mortal Kombat together, except, most of us have moved away for uni and whatnot this year, and then they're all coming back for one weekend. Everyone was going to be back, and we wanted to play Mortal Kombat 10, but there's nowhere to rent it here because Blockbuster here is shit and never has anything late, or like the latest stuff. So, yeah, I ended up dropping $75 on a game that I played for a weekend. So, yeah, I don't know. Something like that would be awesome.
I honestly don't see it happening anytime soon, though. Like, the amount of lost money, it's just, there has to be another way to profit from it. Like, whether they put, ads in the rental every hour, they give you a minute of ads or whatever. But to give you the full game for a night for $3 or $5 or whatever, it seems like they're losing too much money.
Yeah, I mean, I would be fine with the ads though, if it kind of allowed access to it, and it's just like you do hear like these games, like the ones I was saying, like Shadow of the Colossus and Heavy Rain, and unless you invest in that particular system, you're not going to get to play them. And I get that, but like you're saying with PC, one of my favorite games of all time is Dungeon Keeper 2 on PC, and I love that sense of humor. I love that sort of design of game. But I can still play that on my laptop, and just being able to link back to that is brilliant. Like a movie, you can watch a movie, you can read a book, but games do seem to be sort of walled off like that, and it is a shame. I would love a sort of a rental service like that, but yeah, economically, how are they going to actually make money from it? It's kind of difficult to say, really. But yeah, I mean, I do think though that Xbox have been kind of coy though about the way that they've gone about this. I mean, shock Microsoft being sly, but the whole sort of you can do backwards compatibility if the publishers allow it to happen. So like the highest one I think that people have requested is Red Dead, but it's not shifted as far as I can tell. They've not actually, Rockstar haven't allowed Red Dead to be played on there. So it's still all being sort of walled off in some way, even though you'd think it would be as easy now as whenever it ever has been.
It seems a lot worse than the Xbox 360 backwards compatibility. It seems like, yes, we have backwards compatibility for Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. That's it.
Mm.
But, hopefully they get that fixed up and it ends up being full back catalogue of all Xbox 360 games for the sake of Xbox One owners.
Mm. Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, if only Sony would do something like that. But unfortunately, we have to pay for games for either 2 days or 30 days with Sony. But yeah, the PlayStation Now is the only reason I don't see backwards compatibility ever happening with Sony, at least for this generation. They might even get rid of it next generation, or maybe even halfway through this generation if it doesn't catch on. But do you guys think it will catch on?
I mean, like I say, I've been thoroughly impressed with how it runs. I mean, my internet is sort of fiber optic, so it's pretty fast anyway. And like I say, I've noticed no lag in it. And even for things like God of War, where you've got to be really precise with your timing and all that sort of stuff, it's not, it's not jumped or anything like that. I think, yeah, if they get the pricing right, and if they actually advertise it, like I said, I didn't know that it had been announced or that it was available. I just was looking through the store and I just noticed it was suddenly there on the side underneath PlayStation Plus. It was just literally right next to that. So I think if they make a big song and dance about it, then I think that will help, certainly.
Has it actually come out yet, or is it still in sort of beta?
Well, that's what I can't find out. As soon as I noticed it was on there, I searched for it, and all I could find were articles about how it was still in beta testing. But nowhere on there does this say, you have been granted access to beta testing and, we'll use your feedback to... No, there's nothing like that. It's as if it's the full service suddenly there. So, how many people are going to know it's there? I don't know. I was kind of surprised when I posted to the Beyond Facebook group that no one was seemingly using it. It was really strange. So, if that's what it's like at launch, if this is the launch, then yeah, that is kind of worrying about whether it's going to be successful or not. But yeah, I think if they really push for it, then it could be, because I think a lot of people could find it quite interesting, seeing how most people seem to have bought the PS4 had a 360 rather than a PS3. From what I've read, so there's a lot of people out there who haven't played some of these PS3 classics.
Yeah, I just googled PlayStation Now Australia. The latest thing about anything about PlayStation Now being in Australia was from June 11, 2014. So yeah, it seems like Sony isn't really marketing it, or making it known like when it's going to be available in certain areas. Perhaps it's the next PlayStation Home or something like that, something that they've just realized could possibly fail and they might not push too much.
See, I've just Googled it as well, and it's come up. I've got completely different information. I've got the American one saying there's two different types of PlayStation Now. There's a subscription and other ones to rent. So it seems like the information is just all over the place, and Sony has no idea what to do with it. Same as Morpheus, really.
Yeah, that's right. And also the other thing I was thinking is how well would it actually work here in Australia with our really poor internet infrastructure? I mean, I know for a fact my internet would not be able to sustain it, without a doubt.
Yeah, the internet in Australia is... I can't even come up with something to define how bad it is. It's, like, terrible.
I mean, yeah, it will definitely hinge on that. They did say that within Europe, the UK would get it first. I don't know quite what that means about the rest of Europe. I suppose maybe it's a separate country and everything. I don't know. I mean, I've just typed in PS Now UK. I've found the top one is from PlayStation. So there is an article now on the blog about that. But I'm looking down the other websites. They aren't big named websites at all. There's no sort of IGN or anything like that. There's nothing. So again, there's no sort of publicity seemingly for it. So
yeah,
I don't know. It just seems strange, because that was one of the big selling points, at least for me, for PlayStation, was the idea of, but these games that you've missed, they're going to be available in this streaming service and you can pick and choose what you want. great, okay. And now it's finally here. There's no sort of fanfare about it.
So perhaps Sony might be neglecting it. We might not see too much of it in the coming years.
Mm.
Or who knows? Maybe next E3 or even Gamescom or something like that. They could just reinvigorate it, upgrade it, make it a really awesome service.
Yeah.
Listen to everyone's gripes with it, just completely revamp it and make it a super awesome service. They could make it successful, but by the sounds of things, they don't really care at all.
Yeah, I'm really hoping it's still in beta. Like, it looks like a really good service. It could work so well. They just need to tighten a few things up, like have better rental services, like more than 2 days and 30 days. Like a 7-day and a 2-week option would probably be really nice. Probably have something in there for countries like Australia where our internet's terrible, where you download the game and you have access to it for that subscription time, sort of like I've seen it done somewhere else. I think Origin does it on PC. You can download it, and from the time you download it, you have 2 weeks to play it. So that you're not using your 2 weeks downloading the game and then realize, oh, I can't play it anymore because rental time's up. So.
Yeah, something like that would be really cool. Actually, the BBC does that. They have a streaming service called the iPlayer, and you can either stream it online or you can download the program. I think you have the program for longer, but the idea is that you can then take that on your tablet and you can watch it when you don't have Wi-Fi. So yeah, something like that would be very
really
cool. Yeah.
I wish more video services had something like that. YouTube. I'm looking at you, YouTube.
Yeah.
I wish Australia had more video services. We have next to none.
Well, you got
Pirate Bay.
Can't even get to the Pirate Bay anymore. They're all closed down. All 127 of them.
Wow.
I think they're on one of the last. I think they're on one of their last countries now, aren't they? They're .se or something like that.
Wow, really?
Yeah, they've been shut down everywhere. They're getting to the point where they're running out of countries to jump to. They're getting sued everywhere. So
there you go. I wonder why.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's a perfectly legitimate service. Torrents are good. It's not their fault people are uploading illegal stuff to their legitimate service.
Well, that's true. But yeah, I guess it is a platform for people to, I don't know, pirate things. But geez, imagine a day without torrenting. I think the world would end.
The world would definitely end.
You know what also might make the world end?
Oh my god.
Scientists are saying that the world is going to end by 2050. So,
Jesus.
I was wondering, guys, it's 2049, and, the world is going to end in possibly a month. What are you guys doing in your final days? How would you see your last month out?
Want a real answer or my terrible answers?
No, all of them.
Well, I would probably sleep.
Probably sleep. That's one way to spend it.
Well, you're gonna die, you may as well enjoy it. In your dreams.
Well, there's plenty of time to sleep when you die, some would argue.
Yeah, yes and no. No. What about you, Andy? Do you have anything interesting you would do in your last few days?
Oh, well, you're going under the pretense that I'm a particularly interesting person. Oh, God. I think, I don't know, just some stupid stuff. Just stuff that you just normally don't do, like, I don't know, just go and, like, visit places that you never would have done, but I'm not talking, like, sort of sentimental stuff. I'm just talking about, I don't know, going and seeing some, I don't know.
Visit the middle of Iraq.
Yeah.
Place you would absolutely never go.
Yeah, exactly. Places with health warnings, just like...
China has Ebola. Okay, let's go to China.
Yeah, exactly. So, places like that, or, walking through construction sites and just kind of like, yeah, what up, hey, just places that you just normally would completely avoid and you'd go visiting. I don't know, just something like that where you just think, well, there's no point. But then again, who wrote this article, by the way? Because I haven't seen this.
Oh, I don't have it up. Hang on, I'll pull it up.
Okay.
It was trending a lot on Facebook, about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. So
What is it? The world's expiring by 2050, is it? Do we have like a use by date or
the
something?
world will expire. Yeah, we do.
Seems like it, but you know.
1st of January, or is it 31st of December? How much 20 have we got?
Yeah, I think when, God supposedly made the world, he put a sticker, like, right underneath the world or something, expiring date, used by 2050.
Yeah.
Do we get a replacement Earth, or, will there be another Earth to replace us?
I think if we just inject it with a lot of preservatives, we'll be fine. That's my solution to saving the world.
Jesus.
All right, so Earth's population will be forced to colonize 2 planets within 50 years if natural resources continue to be exploited at the current rate, according to a report out this week. A study by the World Wildlife Fund, to be released on Tuesday, warns that the human race is plundering the planet at a pace that outstrips its capacity to support life.
No, so an animal cruelty, yay the animals, put out a research thing saying we're going to kill the world as humans. Seems legit, I guess.
Okay.
It honestly sounds like a complete and utter load of bullshit, but, that's just me.
I mean,
I would have to agree.
But, it's almost like, well, we'll just sit back and do nothing in the next 35 years or so. Just like, yep, nothing. Okay.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
Exactly.
Just sit back and watch, and then in 35 years' time, when, we're all dying, it's just, well, we knew it was coming.
Yeah. Well, I suppose it's maybe like us watching An Inconvenient Truth now, 10 years on. What do we do?
That's true.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, is much going to change in that time? Don't know really. But having said that, being able to see Pluto the last few weeks, how soon away is being able to move to another planet going to be? So 30 years ago, the idea of sort of mobile phones and things like that was laughable, but here we are with not only mobile phones but things that connect us to the rest of the world in our pockets every single day. So how long away is the idea of moving off the planet anyway? Assuming we screw it up, assuming that the article is true, how would we be able to do that? Probably.
Assuming we're screwing up, the article says 2050, yeah?
Yep.
The Mars One project is going to have people settling on Mars by 2026. So, once we start moving people there by then, we have 24 years to get people off here before we get thrown away. We're fine.
Yeah, exactly. But what is this article's problem exactly?
Exactly. I completely agree with you. The world's expiring in 2050, so...
Yeah, exactly.
There's
good to
other
know.
planets.
Let's move on. Thank you.
There's other planets.
Well, yeah. We've all played Mass Effect. We can just jump in a Mass Relay or whatever they're called and, jump off to Krogan land. I forget all the planet names. It's terrible. It's one of my favorite game franchises, and I can't remember any of the planets. But no, it's crazy. But do you think if it was to come down to it, this article does turn out to be true? Do you think the population will start to freak out, or just sort of half-ass and go, "Oh, we're done. Let's just sort of chill out, not freak out, and relaxed for the last couple of days"?
I think people probably would. I think people probably would relax on the one hand, but I think there would also be those people who would just completely take advantage of it and just loot everything, and just kind of go, "I'm gonna loot some sneakers or some trainers," because that's what seems to happen. It's just like, "We'll get some shoes."
I'm gonna die. I need to wear the newest pair of Nike shoes.
Absolutely.
Yep. Life is complete.
I died happy.
Look,
Jesus.
I think I'll just loot food. I just want to enjoy all the good food while I still can. I'm
Yeah.
not going to be able to stimulate my taste buds while I'm on a rotting planet. However, we're supposed to die when the planet expires. I don't know what would happen to us, but yeah, I don't know. I'd enjoy some fish and chips, and I don't know what else. A kebab? I don't know.
See, but who's making this food for you?
The people at the kebab shops and the fish and chip shops. Of course, they're going to go to work in the last couple of days on Earth.
So they're
How
dying,
about-
but they're making you a kebab.
Yeah.
Jesus. They're
You
good
might be
people, I
right.
guess.
But what if the article's true and all the natural resources have gone, so you can't have your fish and chips?
Yeah, that's
It'll
true.
be.
All the potatoes are
Oh,
gone and all
gosh.
the fish are dead.
Yeah, what are the substitutes for that? Dirt and water.
Do we become
The last few days, just kind of going, no. Actually, bring it on. I can't eat any more of this dirt and water. Thank you very much.
do we become cannibals and just, eat each other until one person survives? And then that person dies anyway?
That's true. I don't know if I could eat a person. It'd come down to it, like, where do I start? Like,
Apparently it
where
tastes
do
really good. Apparently it tastes really good.
What has this conversation become? Welcome to Cannibal Cast, ladies and gentlemen.
How do you have your human? Well done, or
Rambled.
Jesus.
Well, medium rare is the standard answer, of course.
Which
Yeah, of
part do you
course.
want? Do you want the breast or
The thigh? Yeah. Like, where would you start?
I know where I wouldn't start.
Yeah, I was just going to say, yeah.
There's plenty of places you wouldn't start. I think, yeah.
No, there's only one or two.
Mm,
If I was hungry, if there's
probably,
hunger,
probably the leg. Probably starting the leg.
yeah,
Yeah.
start at the leg and move up, but not too far up.
Yeah, I mean, probably get full quite quickly as well, admittedly, so,
Oh yeah, one human would last you a couple of weeks or a couple of days at least.
yeah.
You'd have to put them in the fridge to keep the meat clean and
Yeah, that's
whatnot,
right.
but
Yeah, salt it.
I've just got this image of the last survivor. Everything's gone, but the fridge works. So
put all the people in it. Yep, that's it. Oh,
Exhausting
well,
company.
fridges are miracle workers. Have you not seen Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull?
yes, I watched that documentary. Yeah, that was good fun. Yeah. Oh, God, what was up with that? Honestly, really?
Worst movie. That movie didn't happen. It was just a bad dream everyone had.
It's a trilogy. No, I have the trilogy box set, and then actually I do have the other one. But I like to think of it as a trilogy still.
It's one of those things that exists but doesn't actually exist.
Yes.
Sort of
Yeah,
like
that's exactly right.
Deus Ex fans say the second Deus Ex doesn't exist. Invisible War.
I've never even heard of it.
Exactly. It doesn't exist. That's why.
Oh, oh man.
Or what is it? Avengers 2. It just doesn't exist.
Yep.
It was a one-off movie. That's fine.
That was it. It was a blip. Yep, gone now.
Yep.
Transformers 2, without a doubt.
Yeah.
That
I
movie
still
was
haven't
awful.
I haven't seen the fourth one yet. I gave up.
I haven't
after-
seen it either.
Yeah. No. Two was fun. No, actually, no. 2 wasn't fun. What am I saying? 2 wasn't fun.
It was far from fun.
First one was fun. That's what I meant to say. First one was all right.
The first one's a brilliant movie. Well, not brilliant. It's just good to watch.
Yeah.
It's easy to watch. It's entertaining.
Yeah. It's got a really weird like masturbation reference in there as well. Pretty blatant. It's just like, okay, this is a kids movie. Okay, that's
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's Sam
out
Templeton.
left field. Okay, all right. But yeah, it's fun. But then 3, no. Okay, a grenade goes off by my feet. I'm fine. No, but 4 I've heard is terrible. Do you guys see the Ninja Turtles movie, the new one?
Oh God, no.
No, I
That
haven't seen it.
movie molested my childhood. Oh.
Jesus, is it that bad?
See, that's what I
It's
thought
funny.
it was going to do. That's what I thought it was going to do, but it didn't.
Really?
No,
You
it
liked
didn't. Yeah, well, liked is such a positive word, but No, it's I mean, because I heard you guys talking about like your cartoon stuff, and you were saying, "Oh no, not the '80s cartoon." I'd talk about the 2000s one, and there's me going, "Yeah, '80s cartoon. Yeah, that's the one I liked." But yeah, no, no, it's not terrible. But if you compare it to yeah, I mean, if you compare it to like Transformers 2 and stuff like that, yeah, it's definitely a step up from that. It's not as bad as that, but yeah, I mean, the turtles, oh, they really are ugly in that. They really don't look good. But there's a couple of moments in there that are good fun, at least anyway. There's a bit in the lift which has been shown a load of times, which is good fun.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that is a good scene.
yeah, that's probably the best bit, to be fair. So now that I'm saying that, I don't want you to think ill of Ant-Man for me saying that actually I kind of enjoyed the Ninja Turtles movie.
Yeah, I'm starting to second guess you now, Andy. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, sorry about that.
But no, I don't know. I just remember watching and thinking they just got absolutely everything wrong. What's in specifics, I can't remember. That movie is sort of heading out of my mind. But I remember just sitting there thinking, no, that shouldn't be like that. That's not how this happened in the cartoon, blah blah blah. But I guess we both grew up on separate cartoons.
Hmm. Hmm. What the Ninja Turtles are we talking about?
Yeah. Wait, we're still talking about the Ninja Turtles movie, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. I just thought you might have gone back to Transformers. That's all. Yeah, no. I mean, yeah. I mean, it changed lots from the cartoon I grew up on as well. But I wasn't too fussed about some of the changes they made. But actually, the original idea of the movie sounded more interesting than the one that they actually made because they were going to change some things up. And I thought actually I would have preferred to have seen the differences rather than the because it looks like
Yeah,
a mangled version of three different movies. The one that's actually kind of been released.
yeah. It was supposed to be. They were supposed to be aliens or something, weren't they?
Yeah, the turtles were supposed to
Like
be aliens.
Megatrons. Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of strange. But they were going to have the American business guy in it as Shredder, and then people just kind of went, no, that can't be true. So they changed it up, and they just kind of have random Japanese guy in the shadows with a deep voice who then is just suddenly the Shredder, I guess.
Oh
And
shit, interchangeable Japanese man. Yeah.
yeah, it's just like okay, all right. And there's just I can't remember. There were some other moments in there that I read up about. I can't remember what they are off the top of my head, but they did have this other idea, and you can see those starting to creep through, and you can see where the reshoots have been done. I just think actually I would have preferred you if you just stuck to what you were originally going to do. At least I don't know, in a Ninja Turtle sense, it might have made some sense at least anyway.
Yeah. But I guess Ninja Turtles lore isn't something that too many people are going to get too hung up on.
No.
So they probably felt a bit of liberty to sort of chop and change there. But
Hmm.
I think on that note, we should probably move on to the trivia portion of our show. So I have a question for you guys. What year did Ant-Man make his comic debut? So basically, each of you just guess a year, and whoever's closest wins. So Andy, would you like to go first?
Okay. I'll say 1953.
Yep, and Taryn?
Well, I have absolutely no idea, but I think it's after 1953, so I'm going to say 1954.
All right, well, Taryn's right. It was 1962. His first appearance was in
Oh,
Tales to
fair enough.
Astonish, number 27, created
Ah,
by Stan Lee,
Nice.
Larry Lieber, and Jack Kirby.
oh, very cool. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I was going for a sort of an atomic agey kind of guess, but I was clearly fairly pipped to the post by Taron.
I'm sorry. I had to get one close to right eventually. It involved cheating, but it happened. I claim victory.
I salute your victory. Well done.
Thank you.
That
Good
would
sir.
be your first point, is it, Taryn?
I think it is.
Congratulations on your first trivia point. I think Brad
Yippee!
is way ahead of everyone by this point, but yeah.
Yeah, he's got one wrong, I think, out of like 6. It's nuts.
Mm. Well, that concludes this week's episode of the Almost Awesome podcast. Thanks for joining me, guys, and I'll talk to you all next week.
Adios.
Goodbye.
There we go. That's done. That wasn't too bad.
No, it wasn't bad at all, except for that very long pause. I think we had 2 very long pauses.
Yeah,
when
we
no
had
one
a
said
few.
anything.
The 2 seconds.
Yeah, but they're very easy to edit out, so that's
Yeah,
fine.
that's just cut and paste. But other than that, it wasn't too bad.
Our segues were sensational.
Yeah, they were just so
Jesus.
surreptitious. They were wonderful. Yeah.
The first one was great. We both seemed to come up with the same thing at the same time. It
Yeah,
just
we did. That
worked.
was really weird. Good moments. I enjoyed that
Just one.
chat, actually.
That was good.
Oh, you'll probably have to stop this live one and then start another
Yeah,
one.
that was the
We
plan.
have to. Yeah.
Do you want to take a 5-minute break to get a drink in that, or do you want to jump straight into it?
I'll take a break, I say.
Yeah. Quick break. I think.
Yeah, just wait. I'll take a break. I'll go grab a drink and whatever, and I'll start another one about 8:30. So 5-10 minutes or so.
No worries.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll send a message in the chat. See you soon.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.